What's up, everybody? Matt Nuzzo. We're here at Real to talk to you about the Armstrong A-Wing V2. So the A-Wing was super popular in the V1 because it has maximum power per size. Army also did some engineering things and some design characteristics that were way beyond what anyone else was doing at the time when he came out that wing this time last year. The V2 has been a development upon what he's made to this date so far and made some really nice improvements. Also added 2 additional sizes. So the Armstrong A-Wing, got the 2.5 in my hands right here, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, and now the Mondo 6.5. So 6.5, you know, again, that is a really, really big wing. Not your best first wing, but it's amazing for riding a big wing. A few of the features that make the A-Wing so awesome, it's not only the power per size, but the durability in construction. In the V2, Army's taken that durability and construction to the next level. You can see here one of the most noticeable things is the additions is the X-ply. Yes, it is. You can see here one of the most noticeable additions is the X-ply power panel. That's a mouthful. X-ply power panel is this super heavy duty, no stretch material that he puts right on the leading edge, connecting the leading edge. He said this is a critical part of keeping the aerofoil and the profile of the wing tight and secure to give you power, to give you drive, and also longevity. This is where it's getting a maximum amount of stretch through this whole area, so this X-ply power panel is going to allow you to continue to have a lot of power per size over a long period of time. What's happening with a lot of other wings out there is they stretch, and within a month's time you lose all that low-end power. With an Armstrong A-Wing, you're not going to lose that power. Another feature that he's carried along is the leech line. You can see the leech line is a taut line, goes through the trailing edge, so you get no trailing edge flutter. Also, when you hold this wing up, it's a little flatter than most people are making wings. And the reason he did that is he's got a preloaded frame. So that preloaded frame is gonna take its shape and have more dihedral when you're riding, but it's gonna give you that flatter profile for powered up once you're getting up and out of the water for that initial water start. That's one of the things I love the most about the A-Wing is the water start. There's a lot of great wings out there, but I've been really pushing to try and ride the smallest board possible so I can ride smaller wings, go out in a range of conditions on a small board. And a lot of other wings out there just don't have the power to get you up and get you going. And you have to be grossly overpowered to ride a small board. And then once you're riding, you're just like completely stacked. With the A-Wing, you get a lot of that forward drive and momentum to get you up out of the water and onto foil. That's a huge difference with the A-Wing compared to any other wing I've ridden out there. That drive and getting up onto foil, second to none with the Army A-Wing. Part of the durability that you can't see is a complete reconfiguring of inside the leading edge. So he not only has this aramid Kevlar reinforcements on the outside, but he also has it on the inside. And he's really tuned that to maximize durability and strength to give you this wing that's gonna feel this way for a long time, but on the same token, it's not adding a ton of extra weight. So the V2 A-Wing is the same weight as the V1, but it has a lot more durability in each size. The next piece we need to talk about is the handles on the A-Wing. With the A-Wing handles, they've updated the handles to make them more rigid, and so all your energy translates directly to the wing. They're still soft on the inside, have a nice amount of padding around the edges of the handle, so it's still comfortable, but you can see that this handle doesn't really move at all. Same thing with the Y handles. They move a little bit, but it pales in comparison how every other handle just wiggles around on other wings. These are really rigid, but also comfortable. Also, the placement has been altered to give you total balance front hand and back hand. So this is going to be your depowered front hand, then your fully powered up front hand. So you can change for your front hand on the 2.5. On the other ones, you can see they've got 4 handles. You're just adjusting per each size. They've also added a larger, more rigid depower handle right on the front for flagging this out. Balance, just awesome. So this wing, they've really improved the balance on it. So when you're riding waves, it just glides with you. Also, what they're improving is how it transitions into the wind. So there's gonna be less drag. You can see this canopy is real taut. Even when I'm luffed out, is that there's going to create less drag, so transitions into the wind or just riding a wave into the wind, you can have a less drag while this thing is luffing out. A couple other things about the A-Wing is they've changed the window placement. They've added a rear window and also altered the shape of the front window, bringing it farther forward. So they found that right along the strut is your kind of window to see out of the wing. And nothing really replaces lifting up the wing or moving it, but being able to catch that glimpse of what's directly downwind of you helps a ton. And I found the placement and the size on all the V2 A-Wings, the windows have been really nicely placed and allow for visibility, which even most wings that have windows in them, I still can't see out of because the strut's right in your face. So you might have to adjust a little bit based on your size. I'm 5'10", someone's 5'5" or 6'2". They're gonna have to adjust to your size, but Army's done a nice job of altering all the wing sizes so that they have good visibility for most riders out of the windows. All A-Wings come standard with the 2 valves. He was one of the first people to do the 2 valves because you want to get that strut firm, and also deflating this wing is a lot easier with the 2 valves. So the 2 valves allows you to get up to max inflation. He's recommending an 8 PSI inflation, which is kind of low compared to some, but it's a significantly more rigid frame because it has larger tubes all the way through the entire frame. That's going to give you that rigidity and that power and control that you want while you're riding a wing. Finally, the A-Wing comes with a wrist leash. It's a nice wrist leash. It does have a Velcro attachment here. I personally like the accessory waist leash, and I'll go into some of those accessories in a minute. This wrist leash here, I just don't like having the thing in my way. I like that they change it to this bungee instead of having a coil. The coil is always knotting up. This bungee is a lot easier to deal with. And so this wrist leash is just like a surf cuff that comes on here. You do need oftentimes to push the thing into your body. You can't just one hand quick close it. Not a big deal, and you just have to be careful. If it does pull, it's not going to stop here and give you a second chance. If it pulls off, thing's flying away. Your A-Wing is going to come with a high quality stuff sack that has plastic zippers on it. Those plastic zippers are going to keep from corroding for a long time. It does not come with a pump, so it's an accessory you're going to want to get. And 2 other accessories that you can check out over here. PowerLink control bar. This PowerLink control bar really allows for you to get maximum power by putting both hands in the center. Makes transitions way easier. Also, if you're overpowered, you can choke up on that carbon bar. It's really lightweight. It's a great addition. I pretty much can't live without it, and that's a kind of a necessity on all wings, and you can use that on any other type of wing. Also, I prefer his waist leash. It has a high quality Dyneema waist leash. It does have a quick release, and it has a secure system so that when you wrap around your waist, you're not going to have that come flying off like just from hitting the clip or something like that. So this waist leash can go on any other wing. I use that waist leash on pretty much any wing I use. I also use the carbon control bar. Those are 2 accessories that I love. They really make any wing awesome, particularly the Armstrongs. So let's talk about the good stuff. How does the A-Wing V2 perform? How's it match up to other wings? First and foremost, anytime we pick up a wing is the weight, right? I actually weigh all these things when we get them. We test them out against others to see how they're riding. We get feedback from our school, from other riders, and try and figure out what this wing is, how it works, and who it's for. So let's talk about the weight. The weight is comparable to any other wing on the market. The 4.5, which is like a 5 meter. Again, there are going to be more power per size in this wing than other wings. So 4.5 is like a 5 meter. That's about just over 5 pounds. That's comparable to any wing on the market and as far as light weight goes. And it's not only how much it physically feels in weight, but how does it feel when you're riding it? Okay, so as I was talking about before, the best thing about the Armstrong A-Wing V2 is that the whole shot, you sheet this thing in, turn it over, sheet it in, boom, you get a lot of power. It immediately generates power. We found for some riders that are really light or just beginning, that instant turn on of power is a little bit much, but as soon as you start going, as soon as you have forward speed, it's great because that forward power gives you forward motion and gets you up on foil. That's your goal, is to get up on foil. Secondly, the upwind performance, second to none. I'm not sure how he did it, but this wing goes upwind so much easier. So if I'm staying in place and riding a beach break or something, or riding a swell, or just don't want to do a downwind or don't have the time or something, this wing goes upwind significantly better than any other wing that I've ridden. It's just crazy. The thing points upwind like mad. Third, jumping. This is not my strong suit. I'm not doing tricks, not doing any of that type of stuff, but some of the riders that I know that are doing tricks, are loving it. As far as hang time, it jumps higher than I want to jump on flat water, so I don't want to be jumping off of waves with it. It's just too scary going too high with a foil attached to your feet for me. But this wing has great hang time, and it gives you that same thing that gives you that drive and projection out of the water to start. Also, when you load it up and jump, you get awesome projection up into the air and hang time. Probably the most important feature, well, second most important, because if you don't get out of the water, then you're not going foiling or winging. So second to getting you up on the foil is how this wing is going to luff in deep power. Really love how this wing luffs. It luffs out great, it's balanced, it's easy. We're in kind of gusty, funky little conditions here, and the thing's just sitting there. It just floats really easy. I was shocked with the 6.5 how light and nimble it felt. I mean, this thing is an absolute tank, right? So that's compared to 7 meter of most other wings. For guys 165 pounds, I could ride that in 5 to 10 miles an hour wind on a pretty small board and get up and get going and just get that hole shot and get up and get going and cruise around. Also, I don't do this much, but jumping on a bigger wing gives you better hang time, right? So I'm not jumping off of waves like, you know, when it's really light, but Army's telling me and some of the other guys have been riding this one, 6.5, it gives you excellent hang time because you've got a lot more canopy. All the sizes have been tuned for the conditions in which they're made for. So this 2.5, I've been trying to ride the 3.5 V1 in, you know, 30, 35 knots plus, and it's just getting smoked. And it's like really challenging, lots of power. It's hard to handle. So having this 2.5 is going to take you kind of that 30 plus range, like easy, as well as for smaller riders that just don't want to have that maximum punch, right? So maximum punch is great. You just have to size down an Armstrong's wings compared to anyone else, right? So if you're riding a 4.5 is going to have more power than most 5 meters out there on the market. So overall, the Armstrong A-Wing V2 is one of our favorite wings on the market. A lot of power per size, best durability and longevity of any wing on the market, best handles, and a host of other features that make this thing perform amazingly well in a lot of conditions for a lot of people. There's not too many people that haven't liked the A-Wing V2. The only complaint we're getting, it's got so much power. It's got so much power. I can't handle it. And what happens is you end up rigging the wrong size wing because it's too powered up. This thing's wanting to take off. So once you adjust to the sizes of the A-Wings and which one's gonna be right for you, it's really hard to find a wing on the market that rides better than the Armstrong A-Wing. If you want more reviews and find out what wing is right for you, give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or reach out online, realwatersports.com. See you guys on the water.